She's in a boob
Mm.
because she's my daughter. She likes boobies.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
I'm joined by Anastasia and Samantha and little baby Sasha as well. She's here. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thanks for being on here. I really wanted you two to be the first couple because you know that I love you so much. And I'm very, very proud to be both of your friends. It's actually quite crazy how our paths crossed, hey? Well, Anastasia, I've known you for a while. We actually met through my ex.
Yeah. Yes.
And then Samantha, we flattered together and then you two ended up together. How crazy is that?
Well, actually, you two know each other just because of me, so you are welcome.
Oh, God, you had to kill it. I wanted it to sound a little bit cooler. And I guess a question that a lot of people want to know for couples is how did you guys meet?
Yeah, so I've met Sammy about 3 years ago, and she is everything that I wanted and more. She challenges me, she keeps me at bay, and she's just, you know, basically the better half of me. But yeah, that's it. I'm trying to get laid here, so you know.
You're a little bit cute.
She can tell the story because she doesn't like the way I tell it. So go babe.
Well, we're in a bar and
Classic
in a bar. I held the door open for her and her friend as they were exiting the bathroom, and then I believe, so the story goes, they were eyeing me up and wondering if I was into girls, and so they decided that they would sit next to the table next to us. I was with a group of people. I was actually kind of on a date with a guy at the time. We were kind of like double dating, so there was a few of us there, and yeah.
And then we showed up.
And then they decided to start up a conversation because there was a group of them next to us, and I think that's how she kind of figured out if I was into chicks as well. And then we exchanged numbers, and I kept her on her toes, so I didn't text her for a few days.
It was a long weekend. Okay, first there's a couple of things that I want to
I wasn't 100%,
add to the story. First of all, I was there with my bestest friend, and she's straight. She had her little curiosity with a woman and all that sort of stuff back in high school. I've known her for a very, very long time. And when your best friend turns around and says, I wouldn't mind going gay for her, talking about Samantha, you kind of make it your mission to make it happen. So originally we sat down and decided to see if she does swing certain way or not. So I was actually purely doing it for my best friend. And I was like, yeah, I will do this. I will make this happen. We found a way to kind of to have a look at their reactions about the whole, like I let them know that I'm here for passport in New Zealand, which was a joke for everybody saying. And one of her friends, she said, I was like, oh, so well, like, are you looking for a husband? And I was like, or a wife. I mean, like, you know, I don't judge. So one, like, it was really smooth. That was like, I don't know, 3 years ago. I was much cooler back then, okay? And yeah, so she was, for some reason, I told my best friend, as in like, I appreciate that you like her. But let's be honest, like, you don't swing that way, so just leave it to me, sort of thing. So, and I'll take over from here. And yeah, so she was, Samantha was the first woman or the first person who I've ever given my number to without them asking. So for me, it was a very, like, it was a bit nerve-wracking. So, and it was either a Waitangi Day or something like that. So her straight friend was texting me and sending me boob Snapchats and all that sort of stuff. Oh my God, she might be watching this.
That's all right.
But yeah, so she took 3 days to text me.
Ooh,
okay,
not 3 days.
It's not that long.
I have an ego.
Yeah.
I'm from Russia. There is a lot of self-love going on over here. For you to take 3 days to text it was seriously, when she texted me, I didn't even know who it was.
Oh, whatever.
How many bloody numbers did you have?
Yeah, that's
no, nobody. I knew exactly who it was, but I was just playing it cool.
I didn't do that on purpose. I'm busy, like living my life, you know. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready. I only recently just come out of a 7-year relationship. I was like, am I ready?
And she swore off girls as well, apparently. This is what I found out after that. So that's why she was on a date with a guy, which I didn't know about at that time. But seriously, I wouldn't care either if you're on a date or not.
She would still make a move.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah.
That's bloody crazy. So, okay, let me get this right. Samantha, you were on a date with a man because you just come out of a serious relationship and you were just like, oh, I hate girls, never going to go out with them again. Been there, done that. And then Anastasia, you were there and your friend actually wanted to hook up with Samantha, but you took over and now here you are 3 years later, you're together.
Engaged with a baby in a house, yes.
You know, when you're a bit older though, and you've been there, done that, and you've done the long relationships or many relationships or 30s here, like the clock is ticking and I've got things that I want to get done. Like, are you on the same path or am I wasting my time? Like,
I think, like you girls were saying, I think it's really important, and you learn obviously with relationships, but I've learned especially that if something's gonna work, you're gonna have to want the same kind of end result. You know, like you could be at different times in your life and have different things going on and want different things and need different things. But if you talk about it and you communicate and you can see that, you know, obviously your paths are going the same way and they're going to end up in the same direction, that, you know, you can make it work. But I've learned, as you girls would know, no matter how much you love somebody or care about them, if you've got different goals, you've got different ambitions, you see your life going a different way, you know, maybe they've done this stage of their life, you've done another, you see yourself here and they see themselves there, you know, it doesn't necessarily work. And that's okay. Like, it's okay if it doesn't work, but you have to know what you want deep inside. And if you can give that to the other person, like you two, obviously your goals, you know, were to be successful in your your respective careers, wanted a baby, you wanted marriage. So that's cool. They all align. And now look where you are. You've both grown. You've got a beautiful little baby. You're engaged. You've got your own house. So it's so cool to see. Don't smirk at me like that, you two. You'll make me cry. I'm so proud of you guys.
You're so cute, Danny.
You are cute.
Oh, well, you know, you girls have been there through a lot of my things in life, you know, like all my fails and my successes and my heartbreaks and stuff. So I really look up to you and admire you. So that's cool. I'm going to continue because otherwise I will probably cry. Anastasia, how you were talking about, you know, growing up in a Russian household. You came over to New Zealand from Russia when you were how old? 12. You say 12?
13.
Yeah. And I know, because obviously you've told me stories about, you know, how it was quite strict and you actually didn't come out with your sexuality to your family for a long time, right?
I never really came out. I just got snapped.
Ooh, please tell. Love a good snap story.
Oh gosh, it's nothing to it. But I used to work in one of the bars, and we were dancing and bartending, and it was one of probably the coolest places that I worked with, because a lot of the girls that I worked with, were a very close group. But so obviously I used to finish when the bar closes, which is about 4 o'clock or something. So I brought a girl home. This is my parents' house, okay?
Classic Anastasia.
Classic.
I mean, well, I don't know. So I brought a girl home, and after I was like, okay, that's fine. We didn't even do anything, to be honest. So it was like me and my single bed. I got my first double bed, I think, when I was, I don't know, maybe 25 or something.
Whoa.
Like, just because for me, it was always been a single bed. I don't know. Anyways, from what I thought, was like, I sleep with her, and after us in the morning, I jump on the couch, and after us, we act like we're best friends, whatever the fuck it was. But for some reason, my mother decided to come in and say hello and ask me about my night, which she never normally does. So when she walked in, I've never jumped so fast out of bed. Like, I've never moved so fast in my life, okay? So here is me, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, did I wait? Like, did I scare you? And I'm realizing that she can't actually see the girl in bed. So, but she's speaking Russian to me. So obviously the girl in bed, she has no fucking clue what's happening or what's going on. So she decides that it's going to be a good idea to move at that time.
Come on, sis. You should just know.
My mother's face dropped. So I basically cut it short, and I was like, okay, can we just not do this right now? I will drop her off in the morning, and of course I'll come back and we'll talk. So that was a little bit of, I mean, we're Russians. In Russia, we don't have the luxury, like even when I was back in Russia, we don't have the luxury for gay people to just walk the streets or be out and proud and loud about it, because unfortunately you still can get a hiding for it. Like, it's still not accepted, right? And I remember when I started dancing back in Russia, my boss, he was actually gay, and he came out to me. And as soon as I found out that he was gay, he showed me in same industry who's gay, who's bisexual, who's lesbians, who's in a relationship. And all of those people, most of them, they are married to an opposite sex. They have kids, and, you know, so, but they have this underground life that is completely unheard of unless you know somebody who's going to actually introduce you to it. After we spoke, talked it out and everything, she was like, okay, now you have to go and tell David about it, my stepdad. And I was like, okay, fair enough. So I go to David, and I was like, David, I need to talk to you about something. And I just want you to know that I'm bisexual. And he looks at me, he goes, and? And I was like, I was just trying to, like, you know, get the courage to, like, have this conversation, difficult conversation with you. And you tell me that, you know, like, oh, it's just, yeah. But yeah, my mom, she's still kind of, I think when she met Sammy, there was the first time when she started to accept it. And this is why I'm thankful to Samantha, because you just kind of go, for my mother, she was like, oh, well, why don't you just date it like a dude? Because, like, you know, if you're dating a woman who looks like a man. And I was like what? Yes.
Isn't it funny though, how I guess parents, I guess they're just uneducated, you know, like they, you know, when you're like, oh, I like girls, they think of lesbians, they think straight away like, oh God, butch, blah, 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 just the things that they see and maybe like in the movies or whatever. And I guess they have that mindset where they're just like, why don't you just marry a dude? But you know, when they meet someone, and obviously what I saw Samantha and be like, sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not what I expected. All right, sweet. Let's, you know, and once they get past that initial thought process and they start to realize that, oh shit, this woman actually loves my daughter, looks after her, cares for her. Why does it matter what her? Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you could be with a dude and be a completely different person, but Sam, I'll chat to you before little baby Sasha wakes up, and you might need to go and feed her. Did your parents have the same reaction to you with your sexuality, or how did that go? Because you're a good old Kiwi, aren't you?
I'm a Kiwi.
I'm gonna have a hard time now just because I have to share my spotlight. Well, I have to share Sammy first of all now. Well, this little one, at least she's cute, so we're good.
Oh, she's so bloody cute, honestly. I want to chat. Should we chat quickly about the baby journey then? And Anna, maybe you can chip in, because this is something, of course, why I really wanted you girls to get on this episode, because you're a gay couple and you have a baby. How amazing is that? 2020. Give it up for 2020. So yeah, I'll let you guys take the mic and kind of explain how the journey started, how it went. And I'll chip in if I kind of want to ask any questions. But yeah, how did baby Sasha come about?
Well, like we had mentioned, we did a lot of talking about where we were wanting to, where our end goal was, I guess. And when I met Anastasia at the time, it was initially like saving for a house. Like the house was like the thing, you know, when you live in Auckland, it takes a bit more time. And obviously children come up, and I've always wanted children, and Anastasia mentioned that she was wanting children as well, and well, she would come around to it, like, you know, like it wasn't off the cards, because if it was off the cards we wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
because I would have said see you later, goodbye.
Yeah,
pretty much.
fair call though. It's an important thing.
Yeah, it is, definitely. You've got to talk about these things. Otherwise, again, you've just, unfortunately, you'll just end up resenting one another, is what I believe. And anyway, I sort of done my research and whatnot in regards to clinics for both sperm donor and inseminations. And at the time, we were looking at about a 2 to 3 year waiting list for sperm. So by the time we were living together and we'd traveled a few different places and stuff, and so when you were in a good place and we were both sort of looking for a house and everything like that, so we were kind of like, okay, why don't we just go in, we can go into the clinic, we can get our names on the list, and hey, if it takes 3 years, then at least we know we'll be ready. And so
before you start with that, there's a couple of things that is actually very, very interesting. Obviously you have somebody in the States, for example. In the States, all the donors, they get paid for it, you know, for sperm and stuff. Unfortunately, here or Australia, nobody gets paid for it. So therefore, that's why the waiting lists are so long, unless you have a friend or somebody who you know that will actually donate their sperm for you. So what we said, just because we thought that, okay, we might, they told us at least it's going to be at least 2 years minimum until you get profiles. And after that, if none of the profiles is up to your liking, you'll go back on the list and wait again. So at that time, there was, I'm like, it's a very hard conversation to have with some of your friends or the people that you know. Can you be a donor for us? But yeah. I'm the kind of person that I just say things, you know. So I've had one of my really, really good friends. He was a singer on one of the cruise ships, and he's absolutely beautiful, African American, and he actually said yes. So now we wait for the donor on the list, or we actually try to figure out how to go to the States and get pregnant, or get the sperm here to get pregnant, like all these things. So there's a lot of puzzles that pieces that are moving. This day and age, it's a lot easier, and we completely understand it. So that's why we will be protecting our baby with everything that we have, but we're not stupid, so we do understand that there is people still out there who will be frowning upon having 2 mums or 2 dads, or, you know, being in a same-sex relationship and same-sex parents. So that's when we start thinking, it's like, do we want our child to obviously go through that without really knowing yet how do you raise a child without, like, I don't want my girl to be bullied. If she's going to get bullied, I want her to know how to properly address it, sort of thing. So, but I have no idea yet, like we have no idea yet how to actually raise a kid, because it's our first child. So keeping that in mind, we're thinking it's like, and also we're going to have a biracial baby. Yeah. So how much, and this is the reality, how much pressure do you want to put on your kids being first time parents? You just go all out and just do it, or do you actually just kind of take a seat back and afterwards just see what life brings you? There was an element of the fact that we still wanted her to look or resemble the both of us, just to hopefully make it a little bit easier, you know, if you're out and about, and hopefully get less stares, and I mean, we'll find out along the way. And we decided that we were just going to go, we were in no real rush at the time, we hadn't found a home yet, so we were like, we'll get that clinic sort of
stuff underway, and we did, and we went in and we did our tests and everything like that you have to do blood tests, and they have to check, ensure that you're fertile and all of that before they agree to putting you on the list. I know what story Anna wants me to tell you, because I'm younger than Anastasia, and I class myself as quite fit. I look after myself and I eat well. And when we did get the results back, I wanted to go first anyway. I really wanted to have a child for a long time. And turns out that Anna is more fertile than I am, even though she's a smoker.
And a drinker, and just completely opposite to Samantha.
Wow,
so
crazy.
I know. So I was, either way, they mentioned that I should go first anyway. But yeah, and then through that first year, as you know, we ended up buying a house and whatnot. And then it was February last year. I got a phone call, and they had mentioned, or asked rather, because they knew that it had only been a year, they'd asked if we wanted to come in and have a talk, because they had found a match for us, and they thought it was a really good match and with what we were after. And I mean, we'd got our house, we're in our home, everything was settled, and we just thought, why not, let's just go in and have this chat, because you're supposed to do 3 sessions before you go ahead with it anyway. So we were like, that's going to potentially take a few months, like let's just go in and see what they have to say. And so we went in, and they said that they'd do it a bit different for us, because they were just really happy with the profile match. And so we were sitting down with the counsellor, and we had talked for about an hour, and then she was like, you both have your life in check. You're both successful, you've got a home, like you sound like you've got your family situation sorted, and you've really thought about it. And so then she just said, hey, look, this is the profile, I'm gonna leave it here. We only have one, usually they present 3, but she's like, we just have the one, so just have a look at it. I'm gonna disappear, and then I'll come back in 20 minutes or so and let us know what you think. And we were reading through it, and it was perfect. Anastasia started to cry.
I cried. I was so happy.
Oh, don't start. You'll get me bloody work. How did you get to that process of creating the profile? Like, because I'm guessing you read it and it had everything matched that you wanted on it.
So when you're there with the doctor, they pretty much, because obviously it's a computer system based on algorithms that sort of set you up, obviously, as information.
Okay, simple English, Samantha.
And so we obviously had mentioned lighter features, like blonde or brown hair, blue or green eyes. So like we had quite I guess we weren't really leaving it that open. So we were a little bit more picky, but we had really talked over that thing of wanting her to look like both of us, sort of thing.
Yeah, so if we would actually have a baby together, what our baby would look like.
Yeah, because you forget that that's the beauty when a female and a male has a baby, they genetically look like each other. But with 2 girls, you don't have that. So yeah, fair enough. I'll do the same thing.
So you are actually allowed to be quite picky, and I mean you may as well be as honest as you want. It's a hell of a journey. At least get it right straight off the bat. I mean, either way, I know that you're going to love the child that you have, and everyone's different, but for us it was just wanting to protect her, I guess, as best as we could.
So the clinic that we went to was Fertility Plus. They came recommended from one of our other gay couple, the two women who are married, and they're actually having their second baby in June.
Oh, wow.
So that's really nice. So they recommended us to go to that particular clinic, and Fertility Plus, they're absolutely amazing. They super friendly, they super professional, and they just made the whole journey so much more enjoyable, because it is a nerve-wracking sort of situation that you have no idea what you're signing up for and things like that, and you talk before you jump sort of thing. But of course, at the end of the day, you just need to like just go for it, and they make it very, very comfortable.
It's judgment free. Like even when we were with the counselor, and once we had read through the profile, and we were, I mean, obviously crying is a good sign. So obviously we were like, yes, we don't need to see, like it's meant to be, pretty much. Like it was just meant to be. And once she came back in, like, oh, just so lovely. We spoke for another hour, and then she decided that we didn't need to do any further counselling sessions. Like she was totally happy with meeting us and spending that extra time, and just happy for us to get on with it, really. Because then it is up to you, because you have an annual fee. So we were told we had 6 sperm rounds. So you pay your annual fee, and it just sits on ice. So we didn't even need to necessarily jump straight on it, but obviously being excited and being at that point, and where we were in our lives, like we had nothing holding us back. We just had a clear year of, hey, let's do this. So we started our journey, and a journey it was. It's not easy. Like there are a lot of ups and downs, but that comes with getting pregnant. And even for straight couples going through IUI or IVF, or even just generally being able to have sex and trying to have babies, like it's not as easy as everyone thinks.
You start to understand that it's not black and white. There are so many things that can happen before or after, and like it took us 3 rounds to actually get pregnant.
The second round was really hard for us, finding out that it had worked. You're pregnant, but something's happened, and it's not going to stick. Is pretty much how they sort of go about it. Because you're nervously waiting for those phone calls. That's the other thing. You're not just going and peeing on a stick. It's all like blood tests and phone calls. So it's nerve-wracking. I mean,
they have to wait for another month if it doesn't work, or if something happens, and it's all like it's pins and needles all the time. And after, when you do find out that it didn't work, you can't just go, oh well, let's try again tomorrow, sort of thing, because it's such a shock to your just system, to your well-being, and to your mental well-being.
Obviously as well, like we're very lucky, we do have good jobs, but obviously you're paying for each cycle as well, so you get that bill in the mail and it's the extra reminder of, oh, it didn't work, but we'll pay.
Oh shit, I didn't get pregnant this time. That's right. Oh, here you go, here's my money anyway.
Yeah, here's my money, here's my thousands.
We've got to the point that, well, that was me personally, that I just kind of go, okay, well, I know that we're not going to give up, and I know that we're going to get there. But just because we went through IUI, and they say that if on a third time is the highest chance to get pregnant. If you don't get pregnant on a third time, it goes back down. So what they say, that after IUI, if the third times didn't work, you need to go through IVF.
Or think about IVF.
So can I ask a question? What's the difference between the two?
So IUI is so they do an internal examination when you're ovulating to ensure that you have eggs, and then on that prime day of ovulation, they inseminate with like a small tube, like a catheter tube, right the way up into your uterus. So that's IUI, and IVF is where they actually extract your eggs and inseminate outside of your body, and then they reinsert.
IUI is more natural.
Yeah, it's more natural.
More like a turkey-based sort of thing.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more like getting something and sticking it up rather than bringing everything out, right?
Absolutely. Like you can, if you choose to do it at home, you can do it at home.
Yeah.
Basically, that's it.
They said they'll give you a home kit as well if you wanted to. But I feel like when you're paying that much money, you may as well get a doctor to ensure that you're hitting the right spot. It's not the G spot that you're after.
Yeah, so there's only a couple of other spots that aren't familiar with, not those ones. So might as well get a doctor to do it.
I feel like that's such a a thing, because you've got say you've got the sperm at home, and then say you're having sex, right, and you want to make this baby between you two, but I feel like it would be so unromantic. I don't know what you'd put it on, but you'd be like, I don't know, is this right? Is this wrong? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Exactly.
It always reminds me one of those episodes, one of the first few seasons of the L Word, and when Bet and Tina were trying to get pregnant at home.
Oh, you're true lesbians, you two, or you're into that world because you know about the L Word. Okay,
yeah,
keep going.
Lived on it. Come on.
Yeah, that's where you learned everything, right?
All my things. Yeah.
What were you saying about Bet and Tina?
They were doing the insemination by themselves at home a couple of times.
Turkey-based.
Yeah. So this is every time when we talk about that, doing it at home, this is what it reminds me of.
Oh, yeah.
Of the simpler times, watching L Word, being about 10 years younger.
Jeez, those are the days. Those are the days.
Yeah. So obviously we got pregnant on the third round, which was very exciting. We waited 14 weeks before we told anyone, because after that second time we really wanted to ensure that it was stuck, and she was gonna come and meet us.
I've got a couple of questions. What happens with the dad now? So you have no idea what his identity is, right? That's a secret.
So the profile that we got was it is quite in depth. It was about 4 pages. Okay. And it gives you not only his details, but siblings and parents, and down to what they do, down to their eye color. It's very in depth. So
you just don't see the photo. Yeah, you don't see the photo.
That's
you
the
don't
only
see a photo.
thing. Yeah. And towards the end, the donor has an option or I guess a blurb where they say if they're happy to meet you and meet the child and how they want to go. So with our donor, the circumstances are that if we want to meet him, we can. However, he's only wanting to meet us and the baby when she is young as a baby, so that obviously she doesn't remember him. So we haven't really decided if we want to go down that avenue yet. But the other cool thing with the clinic is so we've got a form that will go to him, and it lets him know that somebody has had a child with his donation.
Wow.
Successful. Yeah. So yeah.
Do you get to see how many other children he has? How often his sperm is given out?
Yes. So it's one of the I don't think he had
any others. I think it's at the clinic, I believe. Yeah, I don't think he had any others. He just had given the 6, and we got the 6.
Oh, okay.
Because we want to use it for the next 3 for the next round.
Are you never worried? Because my thing, well, I guess you guys aren't Islanders, so it wouldn't really matter. But my thing would be because I've got such a big family, I'd be afraid that the person I might be related to them or something. Because you don't see their name or their face, right? You just see details. What happens if you are related in a way? How do you even know that?
We've not really thought of that, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm pretty good because I'm the only child in the family. My mum is the only child in the family, so I'm solid.
Well, we know that we've got his donation, which we're thankful for, and we know that he doesn't actually have any kids of his own. So, and he expressed that he didn't want kids. Very business orientated.
Oh, okay.
Focused. So yeah, so I guess we haven't really had to worry about too much about it in that regard.
Shout out to him though. What a cool thing he did, because he doesn't get paid for it. He's just given his sperm. So that's amazing. Do you think that you'll want to meet up with him, or?
I don't know. I think when Sasha, she's 18 years old, and if she wants to go and she can go back to the clinic and actually find out where the donor is.
Wow, okay.
It's completely up to her. I mean, I am not really. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it.
Yeah. Thanks for your sperm.
Am I going to have a cup of tea with you in a bicky?
Yeah,
Probably not. But for me, you know what? If I was the donor, I would probably want to actually see my child. Not my child, but
what they look
I
like.
don't know.
The genes. Yeah,
Not
what
my
they
the
look like.
genes.
Yeah,
What they
yeah,
look like.
exactly. Yeah.
How they came out.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I would be really proud.
Yeah.
Super proud.
So is the plan, Anastasia, for you to carry next, and will it be the same sperm? Is that something you can do?
Mhm.
What would
Round
happen?
2, yep.
Did you do that on purpose? Like, because you said you only get 6, he only had 6 rounds, right?
Yeah.
What happened if, Sam, you needed the 6 rounds to get?
So the clinic, they can go and ask him for more, and if he's happy to, he can donate. If not, then it would be a case of a hit and miss sort of thing. So then you'd go back on the donor list, and you'd be, looking for another donor. Really, is how
If you want more kids, yeah.
But I mean, that's cool if you had the same donor, because then your kids will be biologically related. That's cool.
And that's what we're after. So yeah, that's hence why we pay our annual on ice fee, just for that reason.
It's really expensive to keep sperm on ice, you know that?
That damn sperm is so valuable, isn't it? Those people just throwing it out willy-nilly. Jeez.
You just gotta pump out the babies.
Oh, God.
Crazy. Well, I'm glad that you guys are here. You've got a little beautiful baby. So shout out to that guy, whoever. You don't even know what his name is, do you?
No.
Let's call him Enrique. That's a hot name. Shot Enrique. So you're here. So I want to know, because I haven't really spoken to you guys. We've been on lockdown, so I haven't been able to meet Sasha yet or talk to about how motherhood's going. I mean, my sister had a baby 4.5 months ago, so I only really know motherhood through that and everything she's experiencing. But I want to know how it's going with a mum role.
I don't know. I think for me personally, I think that it's a little bit harder for a woman. We went to antenatal classes. So first of all, if you're pregnant, I highly recommend antenatal classes, because you're in a group, you meet people who are going through the same journey with you as you are, and you understand that it's okay not to know things, and it's okay to kind of have no idea what you signed up for, because it's basically a support group, and you're going through all of this together. What we found that it was really, really cool, and we want to see more of, we were not the token lesbian couple there.
Oh, cool. Amazing.
That is absolutely awesome. So there was another lesbian couple there, and they've had the baby as well. It was a little bit different with them, because from our conversations, they actually had a friend who donated his sperm. It's interesting, because you have 2 lesbian couples in the antenatal class, and then you see that the person who's taking it, they actually watch how they talk to the class now. So because you can't say
Mother, father,
and you can't say, like, you shouldn't be saying that in the first place in this day and age. But you can see that, like, your brain's ticking how to, kind of approach. So we are the support people. That's what your partner is called, the support person. The pregnant one, the support one.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit, I don't know. I think that for women it would be a little bit harder than for a guy, because we are a lot more emotional normally. So for me, I want to have the connection, I was actually a little bit scared, because you just kind of go, well, okay, but what if I'm not going to have the connection that I'm supposed to have?
Yeah.
Which, after speaking to some of the guys, they were exactly the same.
Yeah.
But then I still think that there is something for a mum and a mum, is should I be doing more? Am I, it's always this overthinking sort of thing. But I'm really lucky, because Sammy makes it really easy. And I see, like, when I need to take the baby off her, it's really good. We heard some funny stories that apparently the support person, if you're a woman, you can lactate. So next time when I'm pregnant and I'm breastfeeding, she might be lactating. So it's like a couple of,
we can both breastfeed.
So it's a couple of, like, cool things that you just kind of go, oh, okay,
Yeah, so if Anastasia wanted to, she could have tried to lactate, and there's certain methods that you use. So that, yes, she could have breastfed as well. And they say because I've had a baby and I've been breastfeeding.
Yeah.
That once Anna is pregnant, that my body will probably naturally start lactating, producing those hormones anyway. Yeah, it's quite crazy.
It's a lot of interesting stuff.
It's just amazing, really, how amazing the female body is. Unreal.
Crazy. That's so crazy. So Anna, you're not lactating then because you didn't go through all the methods and stuff?
I don't think so. I don't actually know if
have a check.
I don't know enough about it, so I don't know how true it is.
Oh, okay.
We'll tell you next time.
Yeah, I guess we'll
someone listening might be like, what the hell are they talking about? And Sam, how are you going with motherhood? Are you enjoying it? You loving it?
I love it.
So natural.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my God, it's the best thing ever in the entire world. I really struggled with being pregnant, mainly because I was sick morning and night for like 23 weeks. So I struggled with pregnancy. And obviously not being able to keep as fit as I usually am. Like I struggled with getting bigger. But at the end of the day, like as soon as she lands on your chest, I would never take it back. I would do it again if I had to. Like it's just the best. It's the best. It's hard work, but it's the best.
You've got this on recording, yeah? You recorded that?
Yep, this is all recorded.
I would do it again if I had to. If I had to, I would do it again. But it's just because they're so worth it. Like it's just beautiful. I don't know.
Hopefully one day I'll experience it. Fingers crossed.
You will. You will, Danny. You will.
I also wanted to ask, like, if there may be a couples listening, or you know what, even singles that are listening that want to go into IUI or IVF or anything like that, want to have a baby. Do you have any advice for them?
Do it. Yeah, just go in and talk to the clinic. Like we were saying, they're so lovely and supportive. And they'll run you through everything and all the right tests and everything that you need to undertake. So just don't be afraid, just do it. And also for single women wanting to have a child, again, just do it. Just find that support person, whether it be a family member or a best friend. They're very, very open. Like you're always allowed to have that person with you. So why would you not? It's, you know.
And guys, if you're listening, please give your sperm. Appreciate it. Look how many lives you're changing.
Absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
We need more donors. Absolutely.
Definitely need more donors. Like they do say, I think we were very lucky. Like it is a 2 to 3 year waiting list, and we know people. I currently have friends that are waiting. They I hope they don't mind me saying this. They received a round of sperm from a donor that they were interested in, and unfortunately it didn't quite work out the way that they wanted it to, and they're back on the list waiting for that right sperm donor again. So yeah, definitely get in there early, Danny. 2 to 3 years, get in there early. But yeah, definitely need more donors and women as well. There are egg donors out there for straight and lesbian and male couples as well. So both really. Yeah.
Not even for just gay couples, just for people that want to have babies that can't.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely a gift. It's one hell of a gift.
We saw one of the posts on Instagram that one of the lesbian couples from the States, they were actually giving away free sperm. So they had some kind of competition, or they were in business. I don't know what one of the fertility clinics, but this is how easy it is in the States.
Crazy.
They give away free sperm. You know, when you come to New Zealand, Australia, and New Zealand, and you know, it's a lot harder.
But I think we're lucky in that sense. It's harder, but we're more protected.
Yeah.
Everything's
more
done
rules
properly, and You're not just going to have one guy that's donated 16 times and you have a child and your neighbor has you know, a child related, you know, like you're not going to have that. So we're lucky. Like it's harder, but it's worth it because it is harder.
The kid might grow up and have like 100 brothers and sisters or something.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, we are all one big happy family at the end of the day, aren't we?
I'm going to ask you girls a Dear Diary question. Is that all right? It's a question that's come through from one of the listeners. There's no wrong answer. Just answer how you want. But this one is, Dear Diary, can you be in love with two people at once? Answer how you wish.
Like, as in, like, I can be like, I'm in love with her myself. Was that?
I don't think that you should always be in love with yourself, but I don't think that's what they probably mean. Do you guys have any?
For me, if you, there was a really good little saying about that. If you're in love with two people, that means that you're not truly in love with the first person or something. Or if you love the second person, you're not really in love with the first person. I don't think that being in love, you can be in love with two people. You can love people, not being in love.
Yeah, I agree. I'm all for the fact that you can love many people, but to be in love, if there's that one person that you are truly in love with, and
who's your person?
I have two now, personally.
I know that saying that you're talking about. It's the one where if you're truly in love with someone, you can never fall for anybody else because you're so in love with that person. I think that's the same.
You see, you just get me. You just get me.
Well, I have been your friend for a long time now, so I have kind of deciphered your Russian English /
You can translate. That's amazing.
Yeah, we got there in the end. But all right, I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot from this episode. Like I feel like when I'm ready to go and get pregnant, I know what to do. So thank you for that.
And we're here to support.
Yeah, well, you guys have been through it, so I've got some pros on my team. Also, you guys have a cute little page that you have together at the Coltsovers on Instagram, right?
That's the one.
Yes.
At the Coltsovers. Yes.
Yeah, that's really cute.
That _ Coltsovers. Yes. Yeah. This is our. It used to be all about just us traveling and all that sort of stuff, and now it's just a proper family page, really.
Yeah, I was actually having a wee look at it before. It's quite cute how you've got little pictures of Sasha and then you scroll down and there's you two pashing.
We're all about class.
Yeah, a little bit for everyone,
A bit for everyone. That's exactly it. Yeah, a bit for everybody.
Well, if you want to go and check them out, is your DMs always open for people if they have questions for you too?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. That's why we have that page.
Yeah. Cool. Amazing. Well, Sasha did a very good job at sleeping through the whole thing. Thanks, little Bubba. Now I'm going to go and she's probably going to wake up.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But I'll just leave you guys on if you want to say anything to anyone. You got some advice. You've got like a wee little motto or mantra or whatever you want to leave it with. I'll leave the mic for you.
Oh, you leave her open and she doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, I was going to say, God, Anastasia, I thought you'd come through with something really nice.
That's a lot of pressure.
No, just get in touch with us if you have any questions about fertility or any other couple questions or baby questions or anything. Like you said, you've given out the handle, so yeah, we're happy to help.
Well, Anna, you're speechless. Okay.
I know.
I wasn't prepared for that.
It doesn't happen often. I know. I wasn't either. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll leave you two to it. Thank you so much for your time.
Danny.
Thank you for being on the episode. Love to Sasha. Give her a big kiss. And I'll see you guys soon when this is all over, all right?
Sounds good. Love you, Danny. Bye.
Love you guys. Love and light.